Hey Caroline, how you doing? All right. So, thank you so much for submitting your work. Let's go ahead through this series. I didn't see the PDF. Oh, there it is. Let's go ahead and open that PDF. Okay, let's go ahead and open that PDF. There we go. Oh, wow. My computer's taking its time. Okay, okay. Good job showing this series. I can use that definitely use that in this critique. So I'll talk about that in a second. Oh, really glad I see some errors here. So we're going to definitely talk about this. Thank you so much for including that. That helps. Let's go back here. I want to address each individual. Oh, and yes, I saw the gradients. Yeah, they have to be removed. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so Carol Brady here. It's a good start. I think your hard line was great. The basic foundation is fantastic, but we are really, really in need of detail here. I think Jeannie is clearly the strongest of the four, without question. She's the most detailed, but even still, I think we still need to add a little bit more detail to the face, a little bit of contrast in the face area itself, being that this is not a true portrait. Remember, a true portrait. This one isn't either. A true portrait is, if you look up the word portrait in the dictionary, you see it's a depiction of the face and the upper shoulders. So really, this would not be considered to be a portrait. But I'm not going to really hold you to. I'm not going to be real hard on that. I think that we can. There's some things we can do to adjust the spatial relationships that will definitely improve the series itself. But individually, okay. So we kind of get some eyes on them. The nose is depicted by just two little lines. So let's get some contour lines. You know what? Hold on a second. I'm going to grab something too for a visual assistance. Hold on one second. Now I think I used this example before, but if you jump over here, this is the project. A week 7 Project 3 Iconic American Entertainers postage stamp continue. You know what? I just thought of something. It's Iconic American Entertainers, not Iconic American Actors. I don't. Did I mention that at the top? I don't remember if I did, but I just wanted to make sure that I addressed that. So, as we can see, if we jump over to that example, we can see the shadow, the detail in the hair just by adding little color wisps, some shadow and highlight areas in the hair. Then these shadow and highlight areas in the face, the contour lines of the facial characteristics are to a high degree going to determine the success of this project. So we can see that that nose isn't just two little nostrils; it's actually a little contour line showing the shape of the nose. Then we have the shape of the cheeks represented by these little contour lines. We got detail around the mouth, the lips, the teeth, the tongue, the eyes, everywhere. You're just seeing detail everywhere. I recommend you take a good close look at this and go through this video and really try to determine how this designer established these shadow and highlight areas. I think this is a phenomenal depiction, so you might want to consider that as a basis for some of your decisions determining shadow and highlight, and lines depicting facial contours. The teeth, I think, should be established. Instead of just adding a white block for the teeth, I would definitely add some defining characteristics in the teeth. Um, the hair really needs. See, the idea here in flat avatars, we're not using gradients or any other raster effects. However, we are using illustrative techniques to get to um, establish a high degree of depth, dimension, and volume in the illustration. And that is one of the main reasons for this assignment, Flat Avatar, is for students to understand different ways of building depth, dimension, and volume without using gradients or drop shadows or cast shadows. And it's all a depiction of solid hue. And that is really a relevant lesson in illustration. So that's what we're looking for here. So I definitely recommend more detail here. Okay, next. Again, there's no detail in the hands. As a matter of fact, if we cover the face up, can you tell what this is? I don't think you can. I mean, there's no detail in the hands at all, the shoulders, the clothes, or any of the other areas. So that definitely needs to be um, more detail here. So we've got some pretty good contrast in the eyes here, but there's very little contrast in the eyes here. So I would recommend a little eyeliner. Same thing here, a little eyeliner. And Jeannie's eyes look great. So, all right, so back to Agent 99. Other than that, I think, again, shadow highlight, texture, shadow highlight in the hair, depiction of the clothing, add some highlight and movement to the clothing via depicting shadow and highlight. Um, and again, this just really points to detail, further detail needed. Same thing, exact same thing. I've got that nose contour line there. That looks great. more shadow highlight. Definitely need to develop this hair more. And then we got Jeannie. I think Jeannie looks great. Of course, you're going to remove the contours, right? But right now, as we see Jeannie, Jeannie is a little bit, she takes less space in the picture plane. And I think that's a little problematic in that, you know, this one and Bewitched and Carol Brady take up the same. They look like they're at the same photo shoot, right? They're the exact same distance from the focal plane. But 99 is a little bit further, and then Jeannie is even further. So she doesn't take up the same amount of space within the picture plane. Neither does 99. For that reason, you might consider cropping this a little bit closer. So we can still see the umbrella, but she's taking up a bigger space in the picture plane. This definitely I would crop in, even though this is done beautifully down here. Maybe you could even just increase the size of Jeannie so she takes up more space. But theoretically, what you should do is just crop her something like this, just to include her upper body. That part is up to you. But as we can see, okay, the facial lines right here are so light, there's no contrast. So I would recommend darkening those facial lines. Get a nose, define that nose like this has been done here with those contour lines. Darken up those contour lines so we can see them. Let's get some, you know, everybody has bags under their eyes. Everybody does, and we can see that. I mean, in all illustrations, everybody has bags under their eyes. So we want to include those little lines. Also, that will add a little bit of dimension as well. This arm right here looks a little deformed. If you take a look at the forearm right here, specifically the distance between here, and then compared to here, this arm looks like it's huge compared to this arm. I think the hands could use a little bit more detail as well, more contrast in that detail additionally. Okay, let's go to that series that you have, because I thought, okay, look at this. It doesn't look like the clipping mask. It doesn't look like you're using the clipping mask here, because take a look at this. This illustration ends clear up here, but this one comes down here. So that's a little inconsistent. These two don't take up the same picture plane as well. As we can see, this is below this, and this is above. So really need some consistency there. And you know, I'm kind of glad that this image is. Again, I'm glad. Let's zoom out even further, and we can see as we zoom out. And don't forget, these are postage stamps, so they're going to be viewed at a distance. I mean, unless you pick them up and hold them right up to you, you're going to miss a lot of detail. And that's what I'm talking about: contrast and the addition of depth, dimension, and volume by using shading and highlight techniques. Because right now, we've lost all detail at this. None of the facial characteristics are really visible at this distance. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, but I definitely want to draw attention to the feature. And here you can really see how Jeannie is tiny, itty bitty little Jeannie, and then we have Bewitched, this giant compared to Jeannie. Look at her little face compared to her big face. So the faces should be consistent throughout the series. Okay, so other than that, Carolina, I think you've got a wonderful start. And at this point, I would say just keep working hard. If you have, and don't forget, zoom out and take a look at these too. It's the only way to really see. If you're looking at your illustrations from this distance, you're going to see something totally different than looking at them from this distance. So you definitely want to zoom out. And that's a great tip for all illustration, is take your illustrations, and it's a great tip for all design, graphic design, whether it be layout, compositional layout, illustration, or anything, typographic composition. Zoom out, take a look at it from a distance, and I guarantee you'll see things that you won't see looking at them up close. Okay, all right, that's what I have for you, Carolina. If you have any questions at all, comments, or you need any clarification at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to provide. I will be doing double time until Sunday, so I'll be here. If there's anything you want to include, run by me between now and then, please have at it, and I'll be glad to provide further critique. Thank you very much.